Everybody, thanks for having me, Nick, and for organizing this. Thanks to the whole EFC team. As Nick mentioned, my name is Lauren Townley. I work in the Division of Water at the DEC. I will be discussing two different funding opportunities that are currently available through the state consolidated funding application. These just opened yesterday. They are the Water Quality Improvement Project Grant Program, also known as WQIP, and the Non-Agricultural Non-Point Source Planning and MS4 Mapping Grant, which is also known as NPG. Next slide, Nick. First, I'm just going to go over some information about the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. Our agency mission is to conserve, improve, and protect New York's natural resources and environment, and to prevent, abate, and control water, land, and air pollution in order to enhance health and safety and the welfare of the people of the state of New York. So our agency is split into 9 different regional offices, and our central office is split into different divisions, including the Division of Water. So the Division of Water provides various programs that track the quality and quantity of New York's waters, identify and investigate sources of pollution, control these sources, and develop strategies to address water quality threats. So our funding programs started primarily to fund projects to improve water quality and have expanded over time to include water protection, flood and climate resiliency, and habitat restoration in partnership with our Division of Fish and Wildlife and Division of Marine Resources. Next slide. So first I'm going to jump into our first funding program, WQIP. So WQIP is a statewide competitive reimbursement grant program for projects that will improve water quality or habitat, or protect a drinking water source, or that promote flood risk reduction, restoration, and enhanced flood and climate resilience. So we have at least $75 million available this round. Applications are currently being accepted through the consolidated funding application that will be open through July 31st, up to 4 p.m. That is the cutoff time for the CFA when it closes. This QR code on the screen will link you directly to the funding program page for WQIP. Next slide. So the amount of funding available each round is based on the New York State budget. So we have funding available through several different sources, including the state's Environmental Protection Fund, the Clean Water Infrastructure Act, the 2022 Clean Water, Clean Air, Green Jobs Environmental Bond Act, and we also have some smaller pots of federal funding available from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, specifically for the Long Island Sound and Lake Champlain watersheds. The maximum grant award will vary depending on the project type. We'll get into those project types in a little bit more detail in a few minutes. And they range from $100,000 up to $15 million per project, depending on the type. There is a 25% required match for all project types. And I just want to make a note of the last bullet on this slide is very important to understand. So the required match for each project type is based on the award amount and not on the total project cost. So you do not have to match based on a total project, just the amount that you are requesting from the grant programs. Next slide. So WQIP has 3 different types of eligible applicants. We have municipalities, which is a broad definition. We would point to the definition on the program overview, but it includes municipal corporations as well as Indian nations, soil and water conservation districts, and then not-for-profit corporations are eligible for some of our project types. Next slide. So this year we have 9 different project types or categories that are eligible. I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on some of the specific categories that are highlighted here. Next slide. So first we have the wastewater treatment improvement project category. Eligible applicants for this project type are municipalities, and we divide the projects into several subtypes. So primary priorities for this year are disinfection for municipalities that are required to add disinfection to their facilities, as well as projects to upgrade municipal systems to address a phosphorus reduction requirement that's been identified in a DEC watershed implementation plan. The secondary priorities are projects to assist communities with upgrading their systems to meet combined sewer overflow, CSO, or sanitary sewer overflow, SSO, discharge requirements, as well as projects to upgrade municipal systems to address a nutrient pollutant of concern that is not phosphorus, identified in a DEC approved watershed implementation plan. Our tertiary priority is projects to construct a municipal system to serve multiple properties that have inadequate on-site septic systems. And projects that don't fit into any of these priority categories will be scored as a general wastewater project. Just want to make a note that we will only fund wastewater projects that are ready to move forward with implementation. So they have an engineering report that has been signed, stamped, and dated by a professional engineer. Next slide. Our next project type is the non-agricultural, non-point source abatement and control category. Municipalities and soil and water conservation districts are eligible for this category. This is the list of eligible subtypes for this round. We are continuing to have a program category, so just want to make a note of that. That includes projects that are occurring at more than one location or over a defined geographic area. Just want to note, you can find some more information in the program overview. Each of these different practice types has special requirements and some special attachments that are specific to the practice type. So just want to make a note of that. Next slide. Next category is our land acquisition for source water protection category, which focuses on land acquisition either through outright land purchase or easements, and are for the purpose of protecting drinking water sources. Municipalities, soil and water conservation districts, and not-for-profits are eligible for this project type. We have two different categories. So there's the project category, where land parcels must be identified at the time of application. For the second category, programs, land parcels do not have to be specifically identified at the time of application to be considered for funding. Next slide. So the next category is salt storage and road salt reduction practices. Municipalities and soil and water conservation districts are eligible to apply for this category. The primary priority continues to be covering salt or salt sand pile mixtures that are currently uncovered and exposed to weather conditions and are close to a public drinking water source, as well as road salt reduction equipment, such as retrofits for snow plows like live edge or segmented plow blades, plow guards, truck mounted brine spreading equipment, or brine storage equipment. And then the secondary category or for priority would be replacement of existing salt structures or expansion of an existing structure. Next slide. So the next project type is the purchase of a vacuum truck to be used in a regulated municipal separate storm sewer area, or MS4. So the eligible applicants for this are municipalities that are regulated by the MS4 general permit, or soil and water conservation districts that are working on behalf of those regulated MS4 operators. So applicants may apply on behalf of multiple MS4 operators in the same county or urbanized area. Those will be prioritized in terms of scoring. So if there's shared services across different municipalities, we would prioritize that in our scoring matrix. Just want to make a note that basic Mapping of the MS4 system must be completed in order to be eligible to receive a vac truck. There is more information on meeting that requirement in the program overview. Next slide. So this, we just wanted to pull out a couple of different examples of projects. So we have awarded over 2,000 projects in this grant program since the early 90s. So there's a large variety of different projects that have been funded, but some recent examples include a $10 million wastewater treatment infrastructure grant to Chemung County. This was for the upgrade of the Chemung County Sewer District Consolidation Project. It included the decommissioning of one treatment plant and conveying those flows to another treatment plant, with the overall goal of reducing nutrients into the Susquehanna River watershed. Another project that was funded was a vac truck for the town of Newcastle. They received $325,000 to purchase a new vacuum truck to clean out catch basins. And this would help with allowing the town to meet its MS4 permit obligations. Another example project, the town of Stark received $500,000 for a new salt storage facility. This was to cover an exposed salt pile, and it was located in the Mohawk River watershed. Town of Mena received $585,000 for a stream bank stabilization project. It was on a creek that was a tributary to Finley Lake. And this project would help regrade some stream banks, implement erosion control, and utilize native plantings. The last project that is an example is for the Finger Lakes Land Trust. So one of our not-for-profit applicants has received a couple different awards from the WQIP program over the last couple of years. But this one in particular, they were working with landowners and partners to protect approximately 500 acres through the direct acquisition and some implementation of perpetual conservation easements in the Owasco Lake watershed. Next slide. So just wanted to highlight a couple of different required attachments that are required for all the different project types, which include a completed budget worksheet, a project map, a floodplain map if the project is wholly or partially within a floodplain, as well as the sexual harassment prevention certificate form and the executive number 16 certificate form. We have created some additional resources on our website, including some instructional videos on how to complete some of these required attachments. So I just wanted to point you to our website. There are some instruction guides as well. Just want to also make a note, so these are required for all project types. Some of the project types have additional required attachments, so definitely pay attention to those when you're reading through the program overview. Next slide. So next I'm going to talk through the non-agricultural non-point source planning and MS4 mapping grants, MPG. This is the 6th round of this grant program. So we have two types of projects that are eligible for this grant. The first is planning reports for non-point source water quality improvement projects. And then the second type is for mapping of municipal separate storm sewer systems, MS4 areas. So we have up to $3 million available, and funding is made available through the New York State Environmental Protection Fund. Similar to past years, we have a 10% local match. This grant is also available through the consolidated funding application with the same due date of July 31st by 4 p.m. So the eligible applicants for the non-point source planning reports are municipalities and soil and water conservation districts. The maximum amount per application is $50,000 for planning reports, or up to $75,000 for comprehensive stream corridor studies. And an applicant can submit up to 5 applications per round for different projects. So we have a long list of potential planning reports. I'm not going to go into detail on each of them. There's just too many to cover. But these categories generally align with the non-point source categories in WQIP. We are trying to create a project pipeline so you can get your planning and design done for these different practice types and then apply for implementation funding in other grant programs. Just want to make a note, there are special requirements for each project type, so just refer to that program overview for that information. I will highlight we have two new report types that are available this year. So the first is the sanitary survey for alternative waste management, as well as the riparian corridor restoration and enhancement. Next slide. So for the MS4 mapping, eligible applicants are municipalities regulated by the MS4 general permit and soil and water conservation districts working on behalf of those regulated MS4 operators. Similar to the VAC truck category in the WQIP grant program, cooperation amongst regulated operators is encouraged. So collaborative applications will score higher in the ranking compared to individual municipal applications. And the goal is to provide funding to conduct comprehensive mapping of the stormwater system. So if applicants are applying as a collaborative, the maximum award amount is $500,000 or $400,000, I'm sorry, excuse me. If applying alone, it would be up to $75,000 per municipality. There's only one application allowed per round for this as well. Next slide. So awardees of this grant category will be expected to produce a final map product along with a summary report. And then the mapping at the end must meet the current MS4 permit requirements. Awardees must create, use, or expand on an electronic or GIS mapping. The elements of the basic, intermediate, and advanced mapping are outlined in the program overview. You can apply for each of those stages, but mapping, the basic mapping elements must be done prior to starting on the intermediate or advanced elements. Next slide. And a couple of examples of projects that we have funded in the past. So the first is Erie County received $400,000 for the Western New York Stormwater Coalition intermediate mapping. So Erie County is facilitating the mapping on behalf of the coalition, and it will be completing intermediate elements in the MS4 areas across Erie and Niagara counties. And then the next example is for the town of Wallkill, who received 75,000 for mapping of their system. The resulting data will be critical in identifying their infrastructure needs, as well as ensuring that the stormwater management of the system will be able to handle their peak stormwater flows. For the non-point source planning reports, one example is for the Village of Waverly, who received $50,000 for a stream corridor assessment. So they'll be looking at Dry Brook and identifying areas of stream bank erosion that are putting homes and public infrastructure at risk. So this will create an inventory of potential projects that will ultimately reduce sediment loading as well as protect public safety. And then the last example is the town of Westport received a little over $43,000 to produce an engineering design report for a stream culvert on Hoisington Brook. So this will design a box culvert with a natural stream bed, will have multiple benefits, including improving aquatic passage, flood resilience, and reducing nutrient loading in the Lake Champlain watershed. Next slide. Again, we have similar required attachments for NPG as we do for WQIP. So budget worksheet, project map, floodplain map if the project is wholly or partially within the floodplain, as well as the sexual harassment prevention certificate and the EO 16 certification form. And again, similar to WQIP, depending on the project type, there might be some additional specific required attachments. Next slide. So we're going to go through some general information and tips when you're going through your application. So just wanted to make a note that our scoring related to environmental justice and disadvantaged communities has continued. If you're familiar with our program, this has been implemented over the last couple of rounds. So DEC is demonstrating our commitment to environmental justice and disadvantaged communities by awarding points if a project will improve water quality in an environmental justice or disadvantaged community, or positively impact drinking water serving one of those communities, as well as protecting those areas if they fall within a dam failure inundation area. That's specific to the dam safety categories. Next slide. DEC also encourages that projects come in that are related to reducing flood risk, enhancing flood resiliency, and increasing the resiliency from the effects of climate change. So we will be looking at that aspect as part of our scoring matrix. And just want to make a note, if the project is awarded, there are specific requirements if the project is located within either the 100-year or the 500-year floodplain. So before concluding the presentation, I want to leave a couple of additional tips for applying for funding. We do encourage folks to start early. We see the vast majority of our applications come in on the last day, very close to that 4 p.m. deadline. And if there's an issue with the system or an issue trying to get things uploaded to the system, if you miss that deadline, we cannot help you. We can answer questions in terms of trying to get you connected with IT staff through the CFA as much as we can, but it becomes more difficult if you're doing it at the very last minute. So try to start as early as you can. Definitely read through the program overview in its entirety. There's information that is relevant across the whole document, and then focus on the specific sections for your project type to really understand those requirements. Definitely double check to make sure that everything that is an attachment requirement has been attached to the application. If something is missed, we cannot contact you to ask for you to send that in separately. All the attachments are due by the deadline as part of the CFA. So documents aren't accepted outside of the CFA system. The system also will not tell you if something is missing. So it's not that smart, I would say. So if you're expecting that it will flag things for you, that's not always the case. Definitely try to make a clear connection to water quality or habitat in your application. We review your applications based on the information that is contained within the application. We don't rely on outside information. We also encourage that folks self-score their application. The scoring matrix for every project type is included in the program overview. So you should be able to read through that scoring matrix and adjust your application based on how we are awarding points. Last item that I definitely want to emphasize is to make sure that you fill out your budget form properly and attach it to the application. If the budget is missing information, including match, you may be deemed ineligible. Make sure that you're calculating your match properly and including only eligible costs in your budget. If you do include ineligible costs, we will be docking points in our scoring matrix based on that. Next slide. And just want to make a plug. We are holding a DEC webinar on both of these grant programs on June 9th from 1 to 3 p.m. You can register for that webinar using this link or scanning this QR code. We will get into a little bit more detail on each of the project types since it's a little bit longer of a webinar. And there will also be an opportunity to ask questions after that webinar. And if you have any questions after reading through the website, the program overviews, you can contact us. Our information is on the screen, so we're accepting written questions to our Dow grants at dec.ny.gov email box. You could also give us a call if you have questions as well. We will be posting an FAQ on our webpage. We will be accepting questions through July 10th, and then we'll be posting the responses to those questions, hopefully weekly up until July 10th. And again, just check out our web pages. They're linked right here. Reach out if you have any questions, but happy to take questions now.
Great, thank you, Lauren. Let me just stop the record.